Hello, and welcome to Every Persona Explained, where we take a look at the origin and representation of every persona. I'm your host, Winright, and today we're taking a look at Ogun. Disclaimer, Ogun comes from Africa, which means I'm going to pronounce things wrong, and we're just gonna have to live with it. Ogun, also called Ogum, Ogu, and Gu, is a deity, or Orisha, from the Yoruba culture of Western Africa. Also, that might be where her name comes from, but I can't confirm that. Ogun is a primordial deity with a domain that includes iron, hunting, war, creativity, justice, and many other aspects. He is the patron of any who work with iron. Being from West Africa, Ogun was carried to the New World through the slave trade. From here, he influenced said slaves and their descendants as they developed modern Afro-Caribbean traditions, including, but not limited to, Haitian Vodou. Finding a physical description of Ogun has been difficult, but most depictions I've seen show him as tall, strong, and wearing a grass or cloth skirt, and holding either weapons or smithing tools, and he is associated with the colors red and green. In the Yoruba tradition, at the beginning of time there was no land, just sea and sky. The supreme god Olorun decided to allow the other Orishas to create a new place in the vast sea to make use of their special skills and traits. Ogun was one of, if not the first one, to climb down from the sky on a long golden chain. He and his siblings brought with them everything they would need to make new land, including a chicken, a palm nut, and a seashell. The seashell is actually super important because it's actually filled with sand or soil of some kind that, when poured out, made all of the land. So it was the first bag of holding or something. After some work spreading the earth around, the Orisha began sowing plants and later would make humanity. At some point during the creation of the earth, the Orisha came upon a thick jungle that they couldn't cut through. That is until Ogun pulled out his iron tools and cut a path through them. This won him praise from the other Orisha and established Ogun as a pathmaker and clearer of obstacles. The point where the Orishas climbed down to became a city called Ife, which is still there. The city of Ile-Ife is said to be the location of the OG Ife, which is really cool that there's this connection between prehistory and modern times. Due to him being possibly the first Orisha on Earth, Ogun is somewhat the father of civilization. His domains of metal, specifically iron, and creativity means that he is credited with the development of many weapons and instruments that push civilization forward. This has had the interesting result of his domain expanding to include things like firearms and engineering. Is Ogun the first Black Panther? No, wrong side of the continent, okay. And that's Ogun, the God of Iron. So how's he represented in game? Oh dear. Well, he definitely looks fierce and warlike. While I think this design has a lot of stereotyping behind it, there are a couple of things that I think are good. It has the green and red that he's associated with, and while usually depicted with a bladed weapon like a sword, a spear is also appropriate for a war god. And the mask could reflect ceremonial masks used by the Yoruba during ceremonies, like this Epa mask. Unfortunately, his outfit doesn't match what I've read and seen as his physical description, nor does it reflect any traditional Yoruba clothing. At least I couldn't find anything like it. I'd be interested to see why this ended up being the design for him. Ogun is under the Chariot Arcana, and with its meanings of determination, focus, and action, I think is a good match with his domains of metalworking, invention, and justice. All three of those pursuits require all of those traits, so that lines up nicely. As he only showed up in one game, his moveset is very small. He has 2 physical moves, which are decent, but I think it would have been better if he had sword or arrow skills. Or, a spear skill, because they gave him a spear. 2 gravity moves, which are interesting, but I don't think fit. And 1 electric move, which, reflects his domain of invention and creativity. Yeah. When put through Mystic Change, which is P1's version of itemization, he returns an HP incense, which increases HP of a character. That's nice. Overall, it's not great. But I can't fault the designers too much. Ogun isn't well known as, say, the Greek gods or Abrahamic figures, so I'm not surprised the design by someone in Japan 30 years ago isn't the most accurate. But I think Ogun is primed for a redesign and a return in a newer Persona or SMT game. Take everything in this video with a grain of salt. Trying to find information on traditional African religions is really difficult, considering all the destruction that happened during European colonialism and the resulting diaspora. One of the reasons the destruction was so effective is that many sub-Saharan African cultures didn't write down their traditions before Europeans got there. It was primarily oral. So when all the people that know the stories are killed off by war and slavery and disease, the stories are lost, and it's heartbreaking and tragic. So it's very possible that everything I said in this video is wrong. If you know a good place where I can find sources for this kind of content, I would love it if you let me know. And also, if you are a follower of one of these Afro-Caribbean traditions and I got something wrong, please call me out. That way, I can learn. With that said, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you want to see next time in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Every Persona Explained.